So the first year we had this motorhome, we managed to, I managed to put something heavy in this cupboard, which moved during transit. Familiar story. When I opened the cupboard, it fell out and put a big dent and a crack in the worktop. So it's taken me 4 years to get around to this job. I've already got the worktop off. Was it easy? No. It's those 3 screws at the back. Well, it's everything at the back really. The replacement from Autotrail. Was it cheap? No. Is the new one easy to put back in? I don't know. Let's give it a go, shall we? First, a quick run through of how I managed to get the worktop off. So if anybody's considering doing the same job, my recommendation is don't, but you save yourself a lot of money. Right, okay, so the worktop is held in place by 12 screws. 2 underneath the hob lid. 1, 2. 2 go through here. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 goes through there, so that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now what I did to start with was to take both the drawers out and remove this batten, just 2 screws there, just to give yourself a bit of extra room. You also need space to maneuver under here. Don't take this panel off, because as I found, it's held in with very long staples, which are a real nightmare if you pull it off altogether. And once you take it off, you'll find that there's another one just behind it, so you know better off. So what you need to do is open your fridge, and there are 2 screws, 1 under each end. Take them out and this will come away and keep it attached by the ribbon cables. That gives you a little bit of room to maneuver to help get the sink out and everything. These 2 screws here don't cause you a problem. These 3 here, they do, because you haven't got access to them. The screws go up underneath the batten and into the worktop, and as you can see, there's another batten which I think is glued to the bulkhead here, which forms part of this heat shield assembly. Now in theory you could take that out. I wasn't prepared to prise this off because I didn't know what kind of damage it might do to the bulkhead, so I just cut these 3 screws. Well, actually what I did was, by the time I got everything else off, I gave the worktop a good hard tug, and because it's only expanded foam, it just pulled away from these 3 screws, and then I cut them off and ground them down. The sink is fairly straightforward. The waste pipe there is just a push fit, so I'll give that a pull and it'll come undone. Under the black caps that you'll find here are some torque screws. You can loosen them, and then this is how it attaches underneath the work surface. The tap is just 1 bolt, so get a spanner on that, loosen it off, and it'll all come undone. And the hot and cold water feeds, all you need to do with them is take out these little circlips, plastic circlips, a good tug, and the aluminium part will separate from the plastic part. If you need to loosen this splashback, well, I kid you not, that is held on with double-sided sticky tape. Right, so that's the new worktop arrived. I've just size checked it to make sure it's exactly the same size and shape as the old one, next one, which it is. It doesn't have a hole drilled for the tap, so I've got to do that. that's the whole saw is a perfect match. Yeah, I'm not quite that brave. I'm not sure how this surface will react to a hole saw, so let's do a bit of a practice first, shall we? And that resistance I can feel there is almost certainly the water pipes. Yep. We'll get them out the way. Now I can feel it up against the batten, against the back wall. So it'll be a case of jiggling it to try and get that into place. Oh, that was easy. Tell you what, they make these things snug. Try not to skin your knuckles as I've done. Right, it's in. So far so good. I did think when I these 3 inaccessible screws, when I cut them off, I thought I wasn't probably going to need them. I think they're a bit over the top, and this thing's pretty much solid as it is, and I haven't put a single screw in yet, so I'm quite happy to leave them out. Otherwise I could have put 3 more in at an oblique angle. Just about, there ain't much room to manoeuvre in there. But we've got 2 screws there, we've got that one there, 2 down the side and 4 at the front. I think that's more than enough to hold it. So we'll put those screws in now. Right, that's my 9 screws back in place. So just hole I drilled in there is just the perfect size. So there's a bit of red tape on one of these pipes, so you can see which one goes where. So as I said, push fit, and then put your little collars on. I assume that stops it from pulling out somehow. Tap in place. You can see this is like a C shape, so that goes around the pipes, and then just feel for the thread. Easy enough. Little ratchet spanner. Final check of these pipes. They don't seem to want to come off for anybody. Sink. Right, so the sink is held to the worktop by these mounting blocks here. Now they obviously are supposed to swing outboard and grip the underside of the worktop. The problem is that as you tighten the screws, these will want to rotate like that. So the two at the back, we're going to have to stop them from rotating because you simply can't reach under the sink to hold them in place. The two at the front is not really an issue. You can get your hand in and hold them in place while you tighten the screws. So my solution, hopefully it's a solution, we'll find out in a minute. I'm going to screw two little wooden blocks underneath the worktop, just to the right of where I want the mounting blocks to sit. That way, the theory goes, when I start to tighten them up, the blocks will come against the little pieces of wood and be unable to spin all the way around, so they should stay where I want them to be. So we'll see if that works. The first mounting block goes just almost against this panel here, so it makes sense to me to actually screw this block to the panel rather than the worktop. So that'll be my first one. Okay. Alright, this second one was problematical. There's very little room, as you can see, because of this heat shield. So what I'm going to do is just put a screw in there rather than a wooden block, and hopefully that'll be enough to stop the mounting block rotating around. I don't know if I've put that a little too far away. Let's put another one in a bit closer. Right, so that's the waste pipe connected up. Well, this block connector by the tap is the most problematic, so I've got it pointing in the direction I want it to go. Hold the screw, place it in position. Make sure the sink seal is as it should be. Seems to be flush. Now my hope is that as I tighten this up, the mounting block will come up against the screw that I've put in and be unable to rotate, so it should hold it in position. That's the theory. And that does indeed seem to work. Seal one last time, make sure it's not pinched. Check the waste pipe, make sure that's still got a good fit. Put the control panel of the fridge back into place. There's little screw covers on. Hopefully that's it.